Drone racing and FPV freestyle are some of the fastest growing sports in the world. Meet the men and women behind the goggles who are changing the way we see our planet. Travis Samson is flying solo, quite literally. There's not a big drone scene on Bainbridge Island, which is about a half-hour ferry ride outside of Seattle. We met up with him at a place that's pretty familiar to those who watch his videos.
So just being up here is great, and it's so pretty, and everyone's so nice, and it's just the best kept secret in the world is the Northwest summers. It's so pretty up here.
You know, when people see your videos, they just see this cool graffiti structure with a bunch of wood everywhere.
Yeah, so there was an old wood mill, so a lot of the economy on the island in this area in general was logging. And so they like processed a bunch of, they took like big logs, floated them in, milled them, I'm not sure what that entails. You know, they made them into usable wood, and then they put them in the bay and then floated them out to like Oregon and other places where they need wood. And so now it's just kind of this abandoned spot, and the city was like, well, people are painting it anyway, so let's just let them paint it. And so it kind of became this kind of art installation. And now it's just a really cool backdrop to fly, I think.
In the rainy season, do you have to use the sim a lot, or do you have enough opportunity to come out and fly?
The thing about the Northwest rain is that there's a lot of days that involve rain, but it doesn't rain all the time. So like, you know, most days out of the year there is rain at some point, but usually you can sneak out. So my philosophy is just kind of have your stuff ready in your car. And you'd be like, oh, no rain, and then like stop what you're doing and like run out and fly. It's frustrating because you can't fly a lot, but it makes when you can fly that much better.
You're not just here though. You're in Africa a lot, which is something that when we first saw your videos in the AirVuz office, we're like, who is this dude? Like, it's like all over the place. Like, where does he actually live? You know, what the heck? Why do you get to go there so often?
So our family has we have like family friends down there, and we've been friends for a really long time. So they're pretty much family at this point. And they run a game farm down there, and so we are lucky enough to be able to travel down there at least once a year. Like half the reason, well not half the reason, a big part of why I like it so much is because it's just like unlimited opportunity to fly anywhere you want. And it's really cool to like take a second set of goggles and show people that have literally never, like they don't have a cell phone. And you're like, hey, you want to have like a VR goggle that you can see yourself while I'm flying? And you're just like, I'm blowing your mind, like in real time. But yeah, it's really fun, and like there's giraffes down there on the game farm that I can fly around. And yeah, so the story with that giraffe really quick. So it's a game farm and a cattle farm, and they found this giraffe like abandoned without his parents, and so they're like, that's probably normal. So they came back a few days later and it was still abandoned because it was like lame or something. And so they just like took it in like a puppy. And so now this giraffe named Hugo is just their big dog. And so like he's just this, you know, 20-foot tall thing who's sweet as hell. Like you give him gummy bears and stuff. So I got to fly around him, and it was very fun.
I've never met you until actually just seeing your videos.
Okay.
Someone else had written, this guy is your new favorite FPV pilot you haven't heard of. How does that feel?
It was cool, man, because I don't promote my stuff that much. I'm not a big spotlight guy despite doing this. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool to get a little recognition. And I could probably get more if I tried to, I don't know, promote it more, but I think there's something nice and organic about it, just people discovering flight for the sake of flight.
Travis didn't set out with aspirations of becoming a pilot. He's never done anything like this before. He found it while looking for a new pastime on the internet.
I was like actively seeking a hobby. I had just sold out of a bar, and so I had this big void in my life of what do I do? Yeah, and like before all of that, I was a brewer. I made beer for a living, and like beer was my hobby, and so I loved beer, and I went to school for brewing, and I brewed professionally for a long time. Opened the bar, and then I quit drinking, and I was like, I need a hobby. And so I was like, let's find a hobby. I literally went on the internet and I was like, I'm gonna find a new hobby today.
Travis's videos aren't his only project that's taking off. His podcast, The FPV Show, is also off the ground and gaining popularity.
I had to shamelessly promote the show. So me and two other guys, like as a joke, were like, hey, let's do a podcast.
Are you actually taking your pants off?
It's super hot in here.
Could you hear that?
Yeah, it was very clearly
A man taking his pants off. Sorry.
It's getting bigger and it's kind of exponentially growing. We're getting nervous because we don't really know what we're doing. We're just three idiots talking on the internet, but people like it.